to discuss more, let's bring in journalist Paul Gottinger. Thanks for joining us, Paul. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Great, wonderful. And so many are concerned about the threats of North Korea. Leader Kim Jong-un has had very strong words and actions in terms of ballistic testing. Do you think there's a clear threat here, or has it just been hyped up by the mainstream media?
Well, I think there's an important report that came out, I think, just last week by the Atomic Bulletin of Scientists. One of the lead authors is Dr. Ted Postel, emeritus professor at MIT, and he basically shot major holes in the media's narrative that North Korea has the ability to use a missile to strike the U.S. mainland. He said that basically the missile tests that North Korea conducted last month were they were designed to deceive the Americans into thinking that they had a credible retaliatory threat that they could strike the U.S. mainland. And he basically runs through the science. He's a rocket scientist, a former advisor to the Pentagon, and says that they don't have the capability. They just, unfortunately, for them, they don't have it. It's obviously good news for the Americans. I think the important takeaway here is that this buys, and this is the point that he made, this buys the Americans and North Koreans time to find a diplomatic solution, which is really what we should be moving towards.
And is it an even bigger threat since no other countries are expecting exactly what North Korea has?
Well, I think that that's an important point, and the point that Dr. Postel made is this is an extremely secretive government and country. U.S. intelligence knows very little. There was a Defense Intelligence Agency assessment that said that North Korea has miniaturized a nuclear warhead. It's not something that he would take too seriously. We should remember that the U.S. intelligence has a long track record of getting things wrong. We don't have to remind people about the U.S. war in Iraq. Yesterday was also the anniversary of Bill Clinton's cruise missile attack on Sudan, which destroyed a pharmaceutical plant that basically created half the country's pharmaceutical products. The intelligence agencies had said that it was making chemical weapons. So these intelligence assessments, we should probably be pretty critical of at this point, I think.
And do you think North Korea's technology is limited?
I think that obviously, I mean, it's one of the most sanctioned regimes in the world, so they have pretty serious limitations. One of the things that I think is important to understand is that there's a good chance that they don't have the capability of making their own rocket engines. They may have just, had a small number of them that they were able to get out of the Soviet Union, and they're not able to actually manufacture their own. This would really limit what they're able to do defensively against the U.S.
Interesting. Well, we really appreciate your insight. That was journalist Paul Gottinger. Thank you.